Firstly, I just want to address a couple of things. I get a lot of comments commenting on the weather of where I live. I don't live in paradise exactly. I just recorded a very specific time. I live in South Jersey, and if you're from here, you know it's not exactly paradise. I'm just very selective about the time of day that I record. So we always get, well, to be fair, I mean, we do get nice weather around this time of year. I'm not gonna lie. But it's like 3 months of the year we get good weather. So I'm enjoying it while it lasts. And as much as I plot on leaving this state forever, there's this thing that happens when I travel, especially internationally. I really miss it. Like, it's home. And I think that it'll always be home for me. There's a lot of things you can't get anywhere else. We have really good food, and fall time, like autumn, you can't beat autumn weather in the Northeast. It's just like, that's paradise, especially for me because I'm like a Halloween fanatic. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm obsessed with everything that has to do with Halloween festivities, autumn weather. It's just, I live for that. So if I do move somewhere, it has to have that at least. But you already know the routine. I'm about to hop in the car. We're gonna listen to some tunes and get a good workout in. You know, maybe you guys are right. Maybe I do live in paradise and I just don't know it yet. But on a real note, some of you guys have also been asking why I don't record in the gym. And I guess it's for kind of like two different reasons. One, I don't want to be like a fitness influencer. And two, I just don't even have like the setup for it. I don't have a tripod. Well, I do, but I don't bring it with me. It's such a bad excuse, but I don't know. Hey, maybe one day. We'll have to see. Okay, enough soaking in Blue Hour. Let's get this workout in. Okay, now I want to talk about the actual topic of this video, which is boredom. Boredom is an extremely overlooked thing when it comes to this process of personal development. And I think it's because it seems harmless, right? When you're bored, you're just bored. You don't have anything to do. But I'm going to get a lot deeper into why it is such a big deal. Why being bored really is the first step to your own self-detriment. The reason that is because boredom is stagnation. And as we know, stagnation is not a good thing for really anything. It seems as though stagnation is like this universally bad thing when it comes to life or just existence in general. Even outside of ourselves, when water is stagnant, you get dead water. And if you know, you know. No, but it's like this water becomes infected with like brain-eating bacteria, right? If air becomes stagnant, if air has no flow, no movement, and it just sits, it becomes deadly to breathe in. When we sit still for too long, our body becomes sore and weak. It seems as though stagnation is just this universally bad thing. I'm not sure why, but that's just the way it is. It's an observation I've made. And so my philosophy of life has really evolves around movement. Anything but being stagnant. Obviously, the goal is to be going in the right direction, but I mean, evidently, any direction is better than no direction. When we are bored, we are stagnant, to put it simply. And like anything else, When we become stagnant, physically, mentally, spiritually, we become vulnerable. And you may ask, well, vulnerable to what? You become vulnerable to evil. And you might be like, whoa, we're talking about evil now? I thought we were just talking about being bored, not have anything to do on a Tuesday afternoon. And now we're talking about evil, the spiritual war? Yeah, we are. And there's this thing that I've battled with for a long time, and it's been a reason that it took me so long to start making videos. Was I take life seriously. And that's a result of my past. When you experience tragedy, when you experience the weight of life, and you see things that make you question your reality, your purpose, your existence, you just view the world and life from a different point. And I was always hesitant to share my thoughts and insights and explain things regarding life, like personal development and finding meaning and the importance of daily actions to others, to other people, because, it seems a bit extreme when you're talking about a subject as simple as boredom, and then you transition into the spiritual war. It seems like, okay, man, whatever. But it's real. There is good and there's evil in this world. Whether you're religious or not, most people can agree on that. You look around and evil exists. It's pretty evident. Yeah, there's an old saying that an idle mind is the devil's playground. And that's because if you were to imagine your life's journey as a path, a straight path, of course it's not, but imagine it is a straight path in this instance. As time goes on, you traverse this path. But when you stand still, let me close this window. When you stand still, sorry, there's planes that fly over every 30 seconds. I'm pretty close to the airport. So as time goes on, you take steps down this path, and surrounding the path on both sides is a forest, dense woods, and it is dark and mysterious, and it's in your best interest to not go into the woods, right? Because they contain bad things. That is where evil lurks. Now, if you're moving down this path, you are safe. There's nothing to worry about. Even if you're going in the wrong direction, if you're moving, you are not susceptible to, or you are not vulnerable to the evil that lurks in these woods. But if you stop moving and you stand still and you refuse to take part in this experience of life, and you give up, and so you throw your hands up in the air and you say, I'm not moving. What happens is evil, the evil that lurks in these woods, can grab you. It can reach for your ankles. And although it can't physically harm you, it will do so by tempting and manipulating you. This is where we get temptation. Temptation is something I think we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. It is a tactic that evil uses to lure you into the woods, to get you into that dark place, a place that is unfamiliar and unnatural. It is apart from you. It is apart from the essence, the light that God created you with. And that is the reason an idle mind is the devil's playground, because that is where it thrives. That is where it gets the opportunity to get at you, to whisper those negative voices, those negative thoughts, those intrusive thoughts into your mind, urging you to make a bad decision and justifying it somehow, or making you think that your path is pointless. And that validates your unwillingness to partake in this experience of life. It will do anything and everything within its power. Its power is limited, but it will do whatever it can within its power. And like I said, that is through temptation, manipulation, and deception, and fear, to make a chink in your armor and attack that until you give in and you succumb to the darkness of the forest that surrounds you. I wanted to visually paint that because essentially that is what you're starting that process of stopping when you're bored. Now, I'm not saying that all boredom leads to your own demise, but it is not a good thing, let's just say. Most boredom is seemingly not harmful, right? Like, we have time throughout our day where we just don't have anything to do, and so we start preoccupying ourselves with rather meaningless things like doom scrolling or watching YouTube. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't do these things. These things are seemingly harmless, but if you choose to stay in a state of boredom, if you choose to remain stagnant, and you have no goal, you make no effort to put one foot in front of the other and get somewhere, fight for something, then it becomes a problem, and that is where evil will fester within your mind, and it will tell you all sorts of things and get you to make terrible decisions and get you into a place, a state of mind that really can destroy your life. Maybe you can think to a point in your past where this was relevant, or maybe even now. I hope it's not, but if it is, I think you seeing this video is probably a sign. So take it as such. So what do we do now, knowing this? Well, like I said, if you're moving, regardless of the direction, again, of course, the desire is to be moving in the right direction and be sure of it. But the fact of the matter is, we're not always sure we're going in the right direction. In fact, most times it feels like we're not. But our effort, our desire, our intention to move in the right direction, even if it's not, it is better than not moving at all. So if you can really know that and believe it, then I think that it will alleviate yourself from this hesitancy to really try and do something, to commit to something, and know that regardless of however it ends up, your efforts alone to do that thing is improvement. It is opportunity. It is learning. It is development. It is setting you apart from that evil that so desires to tear you down in every way possible. And so that's a win, of course. Now, what if it's the case that you don't know what you should be doing? You have no idea where to start. You have no goal in mind. You don't even know what your path is. Well, your path, to put it simply, is to pursue your full capabilities in mind, body, and spirit, which are the three pillars of life that God gave us. And that is no coincidence. So that is my belief. And I think it's pretty evident that what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis is contributing to those three pillars of life. You should be making daily efforts to improve and develop your mind, body, and spirit. That is exercise. That is having a clean and healthy diet. That is staying hydrated. As you can see, I have a giant gallon flask here. I mean, I'm not just saying these things. They seem small, but they're important. It is also learning new skills, learn a language, develop your knowledge or intellect, challenge your own beliefs, and don't stop there, like dedicate time to your craft or your venture each and every day. Find something that you really think you could be passionate about and go for it. Try new things and be intentional about trying to just become the best version of yourself. That is where you start. And I think that even if you don't know what you want to do, say career-wise in the future, which is a big concern for a lot of people, understandably, because that's how we make a living. In my experience, and I think it's a strong testimony, if you prioritize yourself and you pour into your own cup, you water your own garden, you will naturally just gravitate the things that are meant for you into your life. Because when you do that, you are really coming to understand who you are as a person in the process of development. You will discover things about yourself that you had not known before, and you will interact with yourself and your identity in a way that you hadn't experienced before. And through that, I think that you will just strengthen the vibration that you already resonate at, because everything is energy, and you will naturally just gravitate what is meant for you into your life. And that is a job, whether that is a person, a significant other, whether that's a passion, a creative act, really everything. And eventually, as time goes on, you'll reach a point where everything begins to feel like it's in harmony because it resonates with who you truly are. Now, identity is a whole nother thing, and I'm actually writing an essay on it that I'll be releasing in a few days now, but it's directly correlated to this. Moral of the story: boredom, although it seems rather harmless and often is, should be taken seriously, because an idle mind is the devil's playground. And as we now know, when you become still and stagnant, you become vulnerable and susceptible to the force of evil, which solely exists to tear you down. Thank you for your time, and I will see you soon.